Israel's finance minister is announcing settlement plans to thwart the idea of a Palestinian state. The controversial plan involves building more than 3,000 homes in a settlement that would split the West Bank into northern and southern regions. The far-right minister says the plan buries the idea of a Palestinian state, but critics say the move guarantees many more years of bloodshed. Meanwhile, the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry says 4 more people there have died from hunger in the past day. Chief international correspondent James Longman has more on the Middle East crisis. So, James, what do we know so far about this proposed new settlement?
Well, this entire conflict, Diane, fundamentally is about competing claims to land and whether or not there will ever be a Palestinian state. Already, the east of Jerusalem, which would be envisioned as the capital of a Palestinian state, is heavily occupied by Jewish settlers, as is the West Bank, some 500,000 Jewish settlers there. The issue with this is we're talking about E1, which is a part of the West Bank which has not been settled because of there been so much international pressure to stop that from happening. Because if this area were to be settled, well, it would cut off East Jerusalem from the rest of the West Bank, which would stop there from being a kind of contiguous Palestinian state. This, of course, is something that the Israeli far right has wanted for a long time. People like Bezalel Smotrich have been saying this for a very long time. This is their belief that there should not be a Palestinian state. The difference is now, though, that they are in a position of power. Benjamin Netanyahu has been forced to go into coalition with them. So whilst they've been saying it for a long time, never before have microphones picked them up so much. Never before have international TV cameras been looking at them saying these things. And so this has been part of their plan for a long time. But the difference is now they are in power. Now, people like him have been saying some pretty extraordinary things about the Palestinians just this last 2 years or so, saying that it would be moral to starve the Palestinian people in Gaza, the idea that perhaps Palestinians should leave Gaza, that they should go to third countries. That would really essentially mean ethnic cleansing. So, like I said, this is an idea that's been around a long time from people like Bezalel Smotrich, who are very, very keen on it. It's not something, I should say, that a lot of Israelis even back, because they do see this as having grave implications for the security of Jewish people in Israel. If there were to be, the idea of a two-state solution really was dead and buried, well, where would that leave them? So, look, it's an idea that's been around for a long time, but we'll have to wait and see whether or not it gets full backing from Benjamin Netanyahu's government.
And James, meanwhile, more than 80 organizations have written a letter to Congress urging action in Gaza. What's the latest there, and what's their goal here?
Yeah, these are all the major aid organizations that supply aid to Gaza, very serious organizations, Doctors Without Borders, Oxfam, Save the Children, etc. They've written this open letter to Congress talking about the weaponization of aid. People might not realize, but back in March, Israel actually changed the regulations on aid organizations and about how aid can be distributed inside Gaza. And they said basically that groups who delegitimize the state of Israel would be banned from giving aid out in Gaza. That depends on your definition of delegitimize the state of Israel. These groups, many of them are very vocal about Israel's blockade and the fact that it stops them from getting aid into the country. And so this has been an issue for some time. And these aid organizations say that actually they've not been able to give out aid properly since the 2nd of March. Israel says that many of these aid organizations are cover, they say, for violent groups. But like I said, these are some of the world's most well-established aid organizations. The United Nations says 500 aid trucks need to get in a day. We're nowhere near that at the moment. Diane?
All right, James Longman, thank you.